Hi, Ben here, and we're down in the craft lab today, and we wanted to introduce a couple of carving kits that we've put together. So for many years we've always wanted to put a kit together which basically incorporates some of our favourite handcrafted carving tools in a lovely canvas tool roll that basically gives you a good selection of tools to either get you started on the fundamentals of green woodworking and spoon carving, or whether you want to have a more comprehensive kit that is going to have much more specialist tools that's going to allow you to do much wider range of woodcraft. So we've put all our tools together in these nice canvas tool rolls, which are available in 3 colours. We've got a really nice dark brown, a nice natural green, but we've also got a nice bright orange as well. If you're like me and you're out in the woods, sometimes having a bright coloured tool roll is a real advantage. So if you put them down, you can see where they are. Obviously they've got these really nice deep pockets, so yeah, we can put all the tools in there and then we can bind them up with a bit of cord that hold them all secure in place. And obviously the tool rolls come with our nice little leather logo on there as well. The nice thing about these deluxe canvas tool rolls as well, obviously it gives you plenty of space to put your tools in. You can put in a little spoon pattern if you need to, and obviously your pencil. But the great thing is, if you're in a fixed workshop environment or you're in a fixed camp in the woods, it's got 2 little eyelets as well, so you can hang up the tools so they're easy to grab and you can see exactly what you've got there. So let's talk about what you get in the fundamental kit. So with this one, what we've picked is probably our most sort of favourite craft knife or Sloyd knife. So this is a 3-inch Sloyd. So they come with a simple blade cover to protect the edge. And then this comes with a really nice polished 01 steel blade. This is 3 inches in length with this really nice spear point shaped blade, which is great for most craft applications. It gives you a fine tip for being able to do the detail around the bowl of the spoon. But the reason why we've gone for a 3-inch blade is we think that when you're actually learning to do craft work, even if you're only doing sort of small eating spoons, you need that length of blade in order to get right round the actual bowl of the spoon and obviously make contact with the wood and allow you to sort of remove plenty of material. Now the handles themselves on all the carving tools, they're all made from English elm, and they've got this lovely sort of faceted finish to it. This gives you a lot of grip. It stops it sliding in your hand and gives it a really nice texture to it as well. So they've got our little logo lasered into the handle as well, and this lovely grain is emphasised by a nice oil finish. Now this is what we call our standard handle. This is a sort of elliptical shape, so you can hold it in lots of different grips and it's not going to dig in your hand, and also it will suit lots of different sized hands as well. So that's the 3-inch Sloyd. That's your general purpose craft knife. Then what we've got is our favourite standard spoon knife. So this is a great choice if you've never ever done any carving and any hollowing on spoons. You will need what we call a crook knife or a spoon knife, and that's basically the tool that will allow you to hollow the bowl of the spoon and remove all that waste wood. Now some hook knives will be double beveled, which we find is a real disadvantage because obviously you can never apply any pressure if you've got a double-edged tool. So what we do is we make a right and a left-handed tool. Now just because they're called left and right doesn't mean that you have to hold them in your right and left hand. It basically means that you've got one tool that's got the bevel on one side of the blade and one tool that's got the bevel on the other side of the tool. Now I'm right-handed, so I tend to use a right-handed tool for probably about 80% of the spoon, and what I'll do is I'll use this in my right hand and I will work across the spoon, almost working back towards my body slightly. Obviously not cutting into my actual thumb, but obviously towards my actual body position. Now having a left-handed one, if you've never done spoon carving or you're introducing maybe younger people to spoon carving, I often say that if you go for a push cut tool, so basically this has got the bevel on the opposite side, we call it the left-handed, so we hold it in our right, it's got the bevel now pushing away from us, so we can now do these push cuts, so we can push away from ourselves. So obviously if you're introducing smaller people and younger people to carving, it just means that they're not going to have any fear of actually nicking their fingers as they're learning to carve. So a right and a left is an absolute essential bit of kit to get you into the world of spoon carving and woodworking where you actually need to remove material and make those hollows. So spoons, small cups, bowls, things like that. And again, these have got that nice faceted handle, standard handle, so you've got plenty of different comfortable grips on it. And yeah, just the absolute essential bit of kit, along with a straight knife to get you into that sort of world of spoon carving. The other thing that we offer in the kit, which is a little bit of a luxury at the end of the day, but it makes it really, really nice if you want to start doing sort of detailed cuts on the ends of your spoons. This is the knife that we call the big pick. This has got a much shorter blade. This is only 1.5 inches long. Again, with a nice rounded back edge so you can apply pressure on it. It's got quite a nice sharp tip, which you can use for engraving work and things like that. But this is just great for when you're doing the finer cuts and you want to get real tight turns. So if you're doing this transition point, which is often a little bit tricky for people, being able to go from the bowl of the spoon into the stem of the spoon and make a very quick turn, the fact that the big pick is so narrow in section, it means that it will rotate almost on its axis. So the big pick allows you to do those finer detailed cuts. And if you really want to have a go at maybe doing a bit of engraving or coal rosing, this is a very popular tool for people that they can strangle up, hold it at the tip of the blade like so, and do engraving work as well. A little bit more advanced, but obviously when you get the skills, it's nice to be able to put some detailed work on your spoon. So moving on to the complete carving kit, we have got the similar crook knives as the fundamental carving kit. So we've got a right and left standard crook knife. We have then got the same big pick that we had in the other kit, so obviously that nice little craft detail knife, and we have got a 3-inch Sloyd, but we've gone for the slightly more advanced handle shape on this one. So this is the same blade, so 01 tool steel again, really nice sharp Scandi grind, which has got the bevel on both sides, so it is right or left handed basically. But this has got what we call the contoured handle on it. So the contoured handle has got a bit more overall shape to it. It has got slightly more pronounced sort of finger guard to it, and also this sort of flare at the back end as well. So it basically makes it a little bit more comfortable for carving for longer periods of time. It does prevent your hands sliding, because obviously you've got this sort of more sort of contoured shape to it. But obviously you can still hold it in multitudes of grips and grasps, so that you're still not inhibited for what you can actually carve with it. So that's the 3-inch Sloyd with the contoured handle. We've then got slightly more advanced crook knives. So these are our medium crook knife blade, but these have got our what we call hybrid handles on there. Now I really like the hybrid handle because it still allows you to hold it like a conventional spoon knife if you're obviously doing bigger sort of serving spoons and eating spoons and things like that. And because you can hold it in this section, you're using this more sort of flatter section of blade here near the handle. So you're going to make bigger shavings, basically. You're going to make more contact with the timber that you're working on, get a much smoother finish, but also it allows you to use sort of basically different sections of the handle. So if you're working on sort of deeper projects and stuff, you can actually move your grip slightly further down the handle. The real advantage of the hybrid handle is when you start doing bigger projects like bowls or cookses and things like that, where you need to use more of this curved end of the crook knife, and then you can hold it end on and use this curved shape of the handle to almost sort of wrap your thumb around the very end of that handle. And that gives you a really good reach to the overall tool, so you can get right down into the bottom of your cookser, but it also engages different sort of muscles in your wrist, and again prevents fatigue basically. So you're using this sort of almost like a sort of advanced grip really for doing those deeper projects. So again, we've got this in what we call the right-handed, so this is for cuts coming back towards ourselves, and then we've got the left-handed as well. So again, it allows you to do the push cuts, and obviously as you work on a deeper vessel, so a cookser, you'll have to work with grain direction, and that's where having a push tool and a pull tool really is an advantage. Now I like this sort of open style of hook because obviously, like we say, it gives you lots of different curves, so you can obviously match the curve to the kind of woodworking project that you're doing. But the other reason why I like these sort of open hooks is when it comes to sharpening, it's very easy to actually get in there with your sharpening stone to actually polish the inside bevel of your crook knife. So yeah, it makes it much easier to maintain long term as well. So that's a left and right version of our hybrid medium crook knife. So one of my favourite tools, which I've been making for many years, is called a Indian crook knife, or a mokkatorgan. That's the traditional name for it. And this is a more advanced tool when you start doing projects like bow staves, axe handles, canoe paddles and things like that. So even though this is a curved blade like on our crook knives, it's slightly different in the sense that the bevel is actually on the inside. This is an internal bevel mokkatorgan. So this has got the bevel on the inside and it's dead flat on the back edge of the crook knife. And the reason why that is you're going to use it again with this sort of end on, put your thumb right out onto this long elongated handle that's got what I call a thumb spur, and basically you're going to use this as a one-handed draw knife. So this allows you to do long planing cuts using this straight section of blade near the handle. Now the reason why it's still got this sort of upswept nose is if you're working on much bigger diameter projects, so if you're working on maybe dough bowls or big platters, using this sort of sweeping curve you can still excavate hollows, but it allows you to get a much smoother, flatter surface. So this is our 3-inch Indian crook knife. So finally in the kit, we've got one of my favourite tools to make. This is one of our Antler engravers. So obviously all the other tools incorporate wooden handles. This actually incorporates a really nice bit of red deer antler. Now the reason why I like using red deer antler on these Antler engravers is it gives a really nice texture to it, and we're going to be using this for more advanced chip carving techniques, and it just sits beautifully in that curve of your forefinger because you're going to basically be holding it like you would a pencil, and you're going to use this fine tip that is almost angled like a skew chisel in woodworking, and it means you can use the tip for creating patterns in wood, so you can make little triangular little imprints into the wood, which is very traditional for chip carving or what they call coal rosing, or even like sort of a form of scrimshaw on your spoon. So it's got a very short stubby little chisel style blade, again made out of that 01 tool steel. It is double beveled again, so obviously you can use it right or left handed, and that textured antler handle just gives you plenty of grip and allows you to hold it in that little delicate forefinger sort of pointing grip, and it works great. So that's one of our specialised little Antler engravers that is a real nice little addition to this complete carving kit. So these are the two carving kits that we've got available. Obviously you've still got ample space in the actual tool rolls themselves to add additional tools, or what I like to do sometimes is actually keep some carving projects with me, so I've got them with me at all times, so if I get 5 minutes spare I can just lay everything out and get to work really. The other thing that I like about having all my tools in a canvas tool roll is that I can keep them all in place basically when I'm not using them, so I'm not going to lose them in the shavings, because that can happen if you're not careful. The other thing that's really good as well is you can lay this out if you're in a space where you can't make a mess, whether it be your front room or whether you're in a space where you don't actually want to leave any trace. You can lay it out and obviously use this section of canvas to actually collect all those wood chips as you produce them, and then easy to collect up. You can either put them on your compost heap or use them for lighting your fire. So these are all the tools that we've got available. They're all on the stall ready to go. So hope you enjoy seeing what we've got to offer, and if you've got any questions let us know. And really we're just looking forward to seeing you guys getting out and using these carving kits. So happy carving.